all of you. Today, we will be working on the 74th creation in our lesson series. First, click the plus mark at the top of the screen and open a new tab. Next, type thunkable.com in the address bar and click the enter button. Now you have entered the Thunkable website. Click the login button at the top corner and log into your Thunkable account. Now again, click on the plus mark at the top corner of the screen, open another tab and visit the dpcode.lk website. Click on lesson number 312. Click the Start Project button here. Now you have entered the project. We created a part of the stopwatch timer app in the previous lessons. Today, we are going to create the third part of this app. I have now finished adding the first parts of the stopwatch timer app that we created in the last lessons to our design. If anyone hasn't watched our 72nd and 73rd lessons, go to the thunkable.com website and check it out. Today, we will add parts to this design. See, we designed this stopwatch timer app as required in the previous lesson. The two screens we created are displayed like this. Also, you can see that we have created a part of the code for the stopwatch screen. Okay, next is to create the rest of the code for the stopwatch screen. Now, let's create the code for the button lap like this. First, click on the button lap and drag a when button lap click code block here. Drag a in list insert at code block from list into this code block. Drag a list of laps variable code block from variables into this blank. Connect a join code block from text instead of the text code block at the end. Connect 4 more code blocks to this join code block, but there is only space for 2 code blocks. For that, click the settings icon in front of join and drag one more item code block between these 2 items. Let's drag one more item code block to the end. Okay, now let's click this settings icon again. Give the text as lap in this first text code block, and in the third text code block, give the short dash as the text. Drag an app variable lap code block from variables for the second blank and drag a label time 2's text code block from label time 2 to the third blank. Okay, now look at the code we created. When we click on the lap button, we need to store the time displayed on the stopwatch in this list of laps. But here, it's not only time that is stored. The time will be stored in front of the text that says what the lap is. It will be displayed like this: lap 1-00, 10, lap 2-00, 20. Next, we need to display the laps stored in the list of laps in the simple list. For that, let's drag a set simple list once text item to code block from simple list 1 like this. Drag the app variable list of laps code block from variables from the text items. Okay, this way, every time you click the lap button, you need to change the value of the lap variable to display the number of the lap. For that, drag a change app variable lap by 1 code block from variables below set simple list 1's text code block. Okay, now we have finished creating the code for the start button, reset button and the lap button as well. The next thing left is the stop button. Click the start button and the timer will start. At the same time, the start button is hidden and the stop button is visible instead. The code for that part is being prepared now. Now let's see what happens when the stop button is clicked. Here, drag a when button stop click code block from button stop. When the stop button is clicked, the timer needs to stop. For this, drag a set timer once enabled to true code block from timer 1 into the when button start click code block. Let's give enabled as false. When you click button stop, button start and button lap will be visible and button stop will be hidden. For that, I will drag a set button stops visible to true code block from button stop here. Let's change it to false here. Here, I will also drag a set button laps visible to true code block from button lap. Next, make the button start visible. For this, drag a set button starts visible to true code block from button start below the set button stops visible to true code block. Since the timer has been stopped at this point, the lap button is visible but disabled. For that, click the button lap and drag a set button laps disabled to true code block here. Click on the arrow in front of true and give false here. Okay, there is one more thing. When we click the stop button, if the timer has been active even for a short time, the reset button should be visible and the lap button should be hidden. We can use the countdown variable to check whether the timer was running or not. But the code for this has not been prepared yet, as we prepare the code for this in the future. Therefore, let's check if the value of the countdown variable is equal to 0 and prepare the code here. I will drag an if code block from control into the when button stop click code block. Drag a code block with the equal sign from logic for the condition. Click on the arrow in front of the equal sign and select the unequal sign. Drag an app variable countdown code block from variables to the left side of the unequal sign and drag a code block with 0 from map to the right. Okay, now if this condition is true, as I said before, the reset button should be visible and the lap button should be hidden. I will drag a set button resets visible to true code block from button reset into this if code block. Click the button lap again and drag a set button laps visible to true code block. Click on the arrow in front of true and give false. Okay, next let's see how to count the time and display it in label time 2 when the timer is running. For that, I drag a when timer 1 fires code block from timer 1 here. At this point, we have finished setting the interval of the timer as 1000 milliseconds. When the timer is running, the value of the countdown variable should increase by 1 every second, that is, every 1000 milliseconds. For that, drag a change app variable lap by 1 code block from variables into this code block. Click on the arrow in front of the lap and select countdown. Next, we need to calculate the number of seconds and minutes according to the value of the countdown variable and display it in the label time 2. For that, here let's drag a set label time 2's text to code block from label time 2. Let's drag a join code block from text to display both the second and minutes value in this label. I will click on the arrow in front of join and I will add another item to the end. Okay. Now, click the settings icon again and remove this box. First, remove the hello code block from here and instead of that, connect the round code block in math here. Click on the arrow in front of round and select round down. Connect a code block with the division sign from math to this code block. Drag an app variable countdown code block from variables to the left side of the division sign. Drag a code block with 0 from math to the right side of the division sign and change the value to 60. Here, we will divide the number of seconds by 50 and we will calculate the number of minutes. When the time is displayed, a colon should be displayed in the front of the number of minutes. For that, remove the word world from the text in this code block and type the colon. Next, the number of seconds need to be displayed. I will drag a test if true if false code block from control to the next blank in the join code block. This does the same action done by the if then else code block. Let's give the condition to be checked in front of test. First, we need to find the number of seconds from the countdown variable. For that, we can divide the value of the countdown variable by 60 and check the remaining number. That's the number of seconds. Here, we check if the remaining value after dividing the countdown variable by 60, that is the number of seconds, is smaller than 10. If the number is smaller than 10, the number of seconds will be displayed with a 0 digit in front of it. For example, 12.01, 12,02. If the number of seconds is greater than 10, there is no need to display the 0. 12.10, 12.30. This is how the time is displayed. Okay, so we will add a code block with the smaller sign from logic in front of test. Connect a reminder of 64 divided by 10 code block from math to the left side of the small sign. Instead of 64, connect an app variable countdown code block from variables and give 60 instead of 10. Okay, now drag a code block with 0 from math to the right side of this small sign and change the value to 10. Next, let's see what happens if this condition is true. Since I want to display the number of seconds with a 0, I will connect a join code block from text to this if true section. Let's remove both the text code blocks connected to the join code block here. Okay, now a code block with 0 from math is connected here. Connect the remainder of 64 divided by 10 code block from math to the next blank of the join code block. Instead of 64, connect an app variable countdown code block from variables and give 60 instead of 10. Next, if the condition is false, that means if the number of seconds is 10 or more than 10, there is no need to display the leading 0. Let's display only the number of seconds. Connect the remainder of 64 divided by 10 code block from math into the if-else section. Instead of 64, connect an app variable countdown code block from variables and give 60 instead of 10. Okay, now we have almost finished creating the code. There is still a little work left. When the stopwatch screen starts, assign the value for the lap, countdown and milliseconds variable and display the time in label time too. Here, I will drag a when stopwatch screen starts code block from stopwatch screen. I will drag a set app variable lap to code block from variables into this code block. For the value, connect a code block with 0 from math and change the value to 1. Right-click on the set app variable lap to 1 code block and duplicate it for the countdown variable. Let's drag the duplicated code block below the set app variable lap to 1 code block like this. Change the variable name to app variable countdown and change the value to 0. Okay, now once again duplicate the set app variable lap to 1 code block and drag it down. Click on the arrow in front of app variable lap and give the variable as app variable milliseconds and the value as 0. Next, drag the set label time 2's text to code block under label time 2 to display the time in label time 2 label. For the text, let's drag the joint code block from text. Remove the hello code block from there and connect the app variable countdown code block from variables. Also, in the word code block, remove the word world and type the letter S. Okay, now we have finished creating the code completely. While designing the app, we forgot something. Let's go back to the Design tab and fix it. I will select the sample list from here. The color of the text items in the list is black. But since the background is black here, we need to change the text color. For that, I will click on the box below the text item color and select white color. Okay, now you can test this stopwatch timer app live. If you little ones did it in this way, you little ones are very talented. Send your design to me on WhatsApp to the phone number note 7681252244. Tell your friends about the design. Check out this app and send it to me as well as to your friends. One more thing, join the DP Coding School Telegram group. Try to be the DP Code Champ Best of the Week once every week. Stay connected with us. Also, another thing, join our DP Coding Club and now you can start a DP Coding Club in your school as well. We are ready to give you all the guidance for that. If you're interested in starting a DP Coding Club in any school that has computer labs, please send a request to the principal of your school to the email address info@dpcc.lk. Okay, let's meet with another interesting lesson through DP Coding School. Have a good day.